If I do a ladybird deed, will my property taxes increase? So a ladybird deed doesn't actually transfer a present interest in property, which means you're not conveying or selling or transferring the property to anyone. This is what triggers the reassessment, at least in Florida, the reassessment of the property for property tax purposes. You sell the property and the new owner gets the property, and then the property appraiser's office does another appraisal of the property to decide what the property tax are going to be set at once the property has changed ownership, or your kids inherit the property, then it goes into their name. Again, the property appraiser is going to reassess the property for new property taxes, especially if there's a homestead exemption on it that was your homestead exemption. Your kids can't inherit that. So they will eventually reassess the property, and there's going to be a difference in property tax based on the reassessment. In Florida, as we all know, the property gets assessed every year for property tax purposes. So we're used to seeing this anyway, but the big thing here is when ownership changes, when it goes from you to another owner, whether it's because you sell it or somebody inherited it, however the transfer occurs, when ownership changes, that does trigger a reassessment for property tax purposes. But with a ladybird deed, there is no ownership change. There's no present ownership change, which is also why ladybird deeds work great for Medicaid purposes. They're not considered a gift because you're not actually transferring any interest in property at the time that you sign the deed. Remember now, with a ladybird deed, you can always change the remainderment, or you can go ahead and change it from not being a ladybird deed at all, or you can sell the property to somebody else. So because you retain all these interests, you're not actually giving a present right to anyone who you're listing as the beneficiary. So there's, again, no ownership change. Since there's no ownership change, there's no trigger for a property tax reassessment. So while you're alive and you're living in the home, even if you execute a ladybird deed so that you can list beneficiaries or remainderment who can inherit the property, it is not going to affect your property taxes. Your property taxes are going to stay the same because you are remaining the constant owner of the property. All right, I hope this answered your question. If you have any other questions about ladybird deeds, estate planning, asset protection, Medicaid, or probate, and you are in Florida, don't hesitate to contact our office. We're at Cause Law Office, the non-stuffy attorneys, and the link is in my bio.